Okay, so apparently I can still get pissed off, or this head or this body mind can get triggered by other people. Like today, due to different things, like one car kind of, well, didn't try to run me over, but didn't try to stop either on a road like this. Maybe it was a little bit wider than this, but it definitely wasn't a road for cars. And then another old man with his wife, I assume, just spat right in front of me. That pisses me off because of the, the speed droplets. They fly in the wind, and one can breathe them in and stuff. And then there are like old traumas apparently for this character, having to do with abandonment and stuff like that. And that can trigger, like certain situations can trigger sorrow maybe. And then on top of the sorrow there can be like anger. But even though there is like sorrow about the abandonment things, I don't know, there can even be a little bit of anger, but there can be sorrow, and that's the aforementioned reactivity. But the reactivity doesn't actually belong to anyone, and it does appear that the bliss is not covered when there is sorrow, for example, or even anger. But it's not pleasant as such, like being angry or enraged. That's definitely not pleasurable. It feels like kind of a burning actually, but still at the same time. It's appearing like this bliss or whatever. It's not joy. It doesn't feel like very happy right now, but it's still bliss. So it's kind of prior, so to speak. It's more like the bliss is the space in which the sorrow, for example, appears as a transient appearance, which comes and goes. It can stay for a while due to certain. It can stay for a long time actually due to certain memories, and then the memories are linked to apparent energies. And the energies have to do with it's the sorrow feeling actually, yeah, the energetic feeling. But I guess there's nothing, or at least there isn't anything like very much or anything very strongly saying that it should not be, that it's wrong. There's a certain kind of a feeling that it's wrong, but there's nothing saying that feeling of wrongness is itself wrong. This is difficult to explain. Yeah, there's like even though there's a slight feeling of this being displeasant, and one would want to, or the head or the mind would want it to go away or get better or even get revenge or something. Maybe there's no aversion towards that, So there's no aversion towards aversion. There's no wanting to get rid of the mind's position that wants to get rid of, let's say, sorrow or anger, or wants to get rid of other people even somehow, like by getting away or attacking in the mind back at people like fucking assholes and that kind of stuff. But because there's no identity in that necessarily, there's not some kind of a deeper identity in that opinionated system. The opinionated system is also, the belief system is also seen as empty of any self, like in some very deeper or very deep but subtle way. But it can still appear. That's what it seems like. But when there's not a full identity in that, then the bliss is evident. And bliss is a synonym for unconditional love, but when there's like anger, that expression of love, that's just very annoying, very, very frustrating and annoying. But bliss is more neutral, I think, as an expression. I mean, it's the same thing. And I definitely didn't think I would shoot this video, but now that I got in the forest, away from people, the whole thing got a little bit softer. But fuck, people can be fucking assholes at times. I mean, other stuff happened too, but... And this reactivity, like, this is seen as not me, not anyone. This is just a character, and it's like... There's no judgment of this either. These opinions can appear, but they are seen as empty opinions, not my opinions. And even the feeling that is associated with those opinions, like people are assholes, there is a feeling, there is an emotion or energetic feeling. So even that is not actually taken to be part of what I am. I don't know what I am, but closest thing is maybe the awareness and beingness that is hearing these words and is here, or is this, not even here as some separate entity. So there can be slight sorrow, slight pissed offness, or right now there seems to be slight resentment even, but it's not my resentment. Or if the my language, like if the language that talks as me and as mine, talks about things as mine, and talks about things as affecting me, if that appears, it's clear that it's not me. So the my language is not me and it's not mine. Oh yeah, and it's not, the feeling is not, even though there's the bliss is somehow evident now too, it doesn't feel like it's happiness or something. Sometimes it feels like happiness, maybe a lot of the time it feels like joy and happiness, but happiness is not. Now there's like a slightly like if I would show my face on the camera, I could show the expression that I cannot actually describe in words. It's more like a frown and slightly constricted, and like a slightly constricted sense. But that slightly constricted sense is the bliss, or it's part of the bliss. And the constriction is just a fleeting, transient appearance that will not last. It's not even that strong anymore. It's gotten softer. So bliss doesn't have to look and feel like ha ha ha, happy 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 bullshit. Although it's not bullshit, I'm bullshit all the time when it naturally appears. It does show up as happiness and joy at times too, but so anyway, the point is that even the states that are thought to be problems and something to be gotten rid of, even the opinion and the belief that some things need to be gotten rid of, that opinion doesn't need to get, or that opinion itself does not cover the base reality, which is the so-called Satchitananda, which means being, consciousness, bliss, or being, awareness, love, or something like that. Oh yeah, I gotta remember to watch out for snakes. I don't want to step on one, nor do I want to be bitten. We only have like one poisonous species of snakes in Finland. There are 3, unless some new species has appeared, but there are basically 3 different snake species here. And then there's one lizard that I actually saw already this spring. I've seen it many times actually in the forests, in the walks, or during the walks. This lizard that looks like a snake. It doesn't have legs and it's long. Whoa. And yeah, even though the body might be kind of alone, like all the time alone, just 100% alone, with no friends or anyone, not really even parents are in touch, or this body is not in touch with parents either. Not very often, sometimes, yeah. But even though that is the case, the friendliness is not actually in the feeling of friendliness, it's not in the relationships. It's innate. It's an innate aspect or innate flavor in reality as it is. Reality without distortions and it cannot be explained why it is so. Or maybe it can, but I cannot. But when the mind settles down, so to speak, and the emotional systems settle down and quiet down, the friendliness becomes evident, and it feels like there is being with one's best friend. There's no sense of lack or anything. and this is different from that previous mention of the sadness or anger. When that dies down, the friend, so to speak, is self-evident as myself, whatever I am. I don't know what I am. Some people try to destroy this place. They try to make they set up some kind of a petition to, or I don't know what the term is in English, but they had some project and plans to build, to destroy those little cottages over there, and there are many. This is in Helsinki. So, and maybe part of this forest too, they would have built like concrete buildings or something, like a suburb here. And if you ask me, I assume that would be that's just fucking corruption. And I'm totally against it, basically. But the grasping would be now, for example, the feeling that I am this me who is totally against something, and I really need to, this is really serious, and I need to fight this, and I need to hold on to this opinion, and I'm being thrashed about by the intense emotions having to do with the issue that I see as real. So when there's no identification with that one, that metaphorical one, when that opinion is seen as empty, also fleeting, transient appearance, then in a way I would say, I don't know, I might be wrong, but that's my understanding, that is not grasping then, even when there are apparent opinions, but the apparent opinions are apparent opinions. They're not real, my opinions. They don't belong to anyone. They're fleeting phenomena that is empty of self, or that are empty of self. And there's still a subtle feeling of like constricted sense of fucking assholes. But there's nothing feeling about that it's wrong, it seems. Nor that it's right either. There's no wallowing in it like I'm right and they're wrong. There's not that either. So no grasping and no aversion, like I mentioned before. When there's no grasping at the self-identity, or and from that self-identity then grasping at other things, and then feeling averse to certain other things. When that's not happening, it doesn't seem to be problematic. It doesn't really affect anything, even though it's felt and it's apparent. There's a small lake up there, but I don't think I'll go there now. And more cottages. Actually, it has been pretty nice sometimes in the morning to walk here. Sometimes you can see deer in the midst of the cottages, in the gardens, and there are like cats can be seen sometimes in the windows, and This is a relatively big place. I mean, it's not that big that you couldn't walk around it or walk through it or do some zigzag walks even. But still, it's not very small either. There are like a couple of hundred little, I don't know if cottage is the right word, but summer houses, summer cottages. Maybe, I don't know for sure, but I would guess like 300 to 400. Those small huts. Oh, there's an ocean here, Ocean Cove. Should be visible soon. And there's a swan on a nesting, if that's the right term. And there's like a lot larger nature area on the other side of this cove, and you can also see deer there and lots of different kinds of birds, cows, all kinds of stuff. But this is still in Helsinki, even relatively close to the city, like the central Helsinki. I guess I'll film some of the cottages or huts or whatever that still appear, and I'll end the video after that. Relatively speaking, it would be wrong to destroy these kinds of places, especially in this city, because I mean there are lots of reasons why, but one would be that these kind of places help people to tune into the earth. Maybe that's too much of a hippie way to say it, but they also help with mental health issues. You can wind down, relax, be in the natural environment that the body has been attuned to due to evolution. We're still biological monkeys, basically. Just the human body is the same as it was. I think it's pretty much the same as it was a couple of 100,000 years ago. So this is kind of the optimal environment for the human body, apparently. Body including the brain and everything. The apparent brain. Oh yeah, you can eat. You can make a lot from a lot of these plants that are around. You can make herbs and remedies, and a lot. There are many superfoods, like the stinging nettle, for example. I had to film to another direction because there's somebody coming. Don't want to film them. Dandelion is a superfood. It's a I don't remember what it's used for, but it's really healthy, from what I've heard. Then stinging nettle, then different kinds of berries, like, well, of course, the blueberry, raspberry, cranberry, those kind of things, milk thistle. And then there are all kinds of different medicinal mushrooms, like, oh look, another one. This is similar to the path that I filmed yesterday. Yesterday it was the deer along this kind of a path. Now it's a swan. And yeah, the unicorn deer. The deer with the one horn. I don't want to go too close, just because I don't want to bother the birds too much. There seem to be some other animals too in the water. You can tell by the ripples. Not sure what they are. To the left, behind that tree. Are they like chicks? I don't know. I don't see. Maybe I'll go a little bit closer. I don't think it will be stressed too much. At this kind of a place. This is like this cove. It's ocean water, and it's like a U-turn or a J-turn. So it turns to the left from there. Oh, there's a crane here also. I don't know if it's visible. Big crane. No, it flew off. But this one doesn't care, apparently. The crane was more shy. What is that sound? Let's see if we can get any closer. Nope. These birds can be pretty aggressive too. Not often, but sometimes. Yeah, there's something in the water inside the underneath the. You can see the jumping. Are those fish? Freaking huge! What fish is this? You could see the fin, like, and it's a big one. Here are stinging nettles. This is superfood, basically. The young saplings are the best. Look here. It's jumping. Or they are jumping. I'll try to film for a minute or so in case the fin shows up again. The size looks like it might have been like half a meter long. The fish. Not sure what fish it was or is. Oh, there. Well, there, you see. See the movement in the. What is it? I don't know what it. Like there. Yes, I got it. So, got the fin. No idea what fish. Maybe a salmon, not sure. I might film more later. I'll go over there if I have anything to say, anything worthwhile. So this kind of an area. Oh, if you want to buy one of these rhubarb, is it? You can put €1 in the mailbox over there, and you can take the whole thing. Okay, anyway, I think this one was here.